Okay.
because
Okay.
I think we got to do right and talk about Avengers 20. Listen, this has got to be one of the best issues of Black Panther. I'm not even calling it Avengers, of Black Panther. The
Really?
Yeah,
last
no,
couple of
that's
years.
more than fair.
I gave Jed McKay a lot of shit. I just put out a video talking about how I'm not feeling that run. But I thought this issue was about to be on some bullshit. But now, even in those 20 or some pages, or however how long that issue is, I felt like we got something that a lot of Black Panther fans needed. Mainline Black Panther fans needed. Like, it
Man, who are
showcased
you telling,
T'Challa.
bro?
It put him in the spotlight. It highlighted his strengths. It talked about where he came from because things have been crazy in this book. And if I'm reading this correctly, if I'm reading this correctly, I think this is a setup for a potential new Black Panther series. But overall, that was a dope fucking issue. Jed McKay, he done won at least 5 more issues out of me. That's how good it was. And I was thinking about
Eh,
dropping this book. AJ, what
Yeah.
do you think?
Before I give praise to McKay, and he definitely deserves it for this issue, I want to give it to Cheryl Eaton, the writer from Black Panther Blood Hunt.
Yes, yes.
She's kind of set the energy for T'Challa this year. She did an interview. It was a podcast. I'm forgetting the name right now. If anybody knows, they can correct me, but I'm drawing a blank right now. And her ethos when writing that story was T'Challa doesn't need to be humbled, right? Like he is him, and as far as the character that a lot of Black superhero fans look to a lot
Mm-hmm.
of in the Marvel universe. When you think of Black heroes, it's him at the top, and then everybody else is fighting for second place. You could say Storm. All right, I'll put Storm up there with him, but other than those two, everybody else is like a distant second at best. I know people are gonna talk about Blade. They'll talk about Miles has gotten so popular within the past 5-6 years or so. It's T'Challa, dog, and this issue was a good reminder for folks because for whatever reason, now if you don't know, you don't know. That's fine, but
Mm-hmm.
if you've been reading comics for any length of time, Marvel especially for any length of time, like I don't know how you can sit and watch the past few years of how they've handled Black Panther pretty much since Coates' run ended. I don't know how you can think that he's being handled well in any
Mm-hmm.
medium. Like
Mm-hmm.
forget we all know what's happening in the MCU. Forget that for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, oh, we're gonna remove him from the throne again. Oh, we're gonna exile him from his country. It's like, dog, what are we doing? Ridley's run. He had Captain America, the face of white superheroes. Tell this man to go back to Africa, bro. What are we doing here?
Oh,
Yeah, that
What
happened.
are
That happened. That
what
happened.
are we what are we doing here, dog? Like I'm
Mhm.
I'm I'm sorry. Like to be a T'Challa fan is to just be in a constant state of annoyance for the past few years.
Like,
And like we get these little sparks. Cheryl Lynn Eden, she was probably the last one.
yeah.
Hill Hill's work in the Ultimates has been a godsend.
Amen.
But
Yes.
again, that's not the main universe, dog. Like
Mm-mm.
this man has been treated like shit in the main universe, and now it's seeping into other things. So to get this issue 20,
Mm-hmm.
Avengers 20, T'Challa's gone into what is it the Meridian Diadem? I think it's called,
Yeah.
and he's basically deciding, he's going to liberate all the captors in there. Dog, just watching him take down the biggest, the baddest of all the gang leaders in there, and just winning over all the other captives, all the other gang members. And at the end, they're looking at him like, "Yo, nah, this is our guy. This is gonna be the guy who gives us our freedom, frees us from oppression." And like you see, they are chanting Panther,
Black
dog. Like
Panther. What's my name?
right,
Black
right,
Panther.
exactly. You see him as a tactician. You see him as a martial artist. You see him, even though he says it like he kind of is wary of it, but he's saying, "Is this? Am I creating a new kingdom for myself?" Like it reminds you that why he was a king. I don't want to sound conservative, right? First off, I saw your title, no politics. In the sense of comics, I don't want to sound like this, but yo,
Mhm.
we've got some of these like woke isn't even the right word, but in the sense of the comics, the monarchy in Wakanda has not been a bad thing, but you have allowed real world connotations around monarchies to kind of
Yeah.
inflict the writing of how T'Challa was handled. Like when they first started all this, oh, we don't need a king, we need democracy and all this. Like that was when a lot of the negative press was coming to the British monarchy in Europe. Well, I should say the latest
Mhm.
round of negative press. They've been getting negative press for hundreds of years, but all of that is true and all of that is fucked up.
Keep it
None
away
of
from the
that
books.
none of that needs to take place in a comic book,
Keep it from the
dog.
books.
Like T'Challa has been a king that his people have worshipped and adored for the longest. Has he made mistakes? Absolutely. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he hasn't, but you don't have to bring your real world baggage into his story, dog. So
And that's why that issue was so good, because
yes, dog.
it took place after, all the craziness of, Fall of X, Blood Hunt. It was his own standalone issue. Anybody could come in. The premise was very simple. He is on a mission. He's trying to save these people, and it's you understand who T'Challa is. You understand where he comes from, and then you
Mm-hmm,
just got to see him cook. I'll be honest with you, right? Outside of Ultimate Black Panther, the only Black Panther that I'm reading right now is Christopher Priest. So I'm reading that
mm-hmm,
right now. I kind of got of like that energy, and then I kind of got that energy from Hill's Ultimate, and I got that energy from Eaton's book all in one with that issue, with this issue of McKay's. I felt like I
mm-hmm.
was reading multiple great examples of T'Challa put into one, and then somebody just took it and ran with it. And my gosh, like I know this issue is gonna sell well. Avengers always
Yeah.
sells well, but listen, Black folk, y'all turned up for what's her name's Eaton's Blood Hunt. That shit, I think that went into second printing. Y'all got to make this one go into second printing, y'all. It's a single issue. Nah, bro. That issue was good. Not even good. That shit was heat. I read
Yeah,
that shit 3 times. I don't read comic books 3 times. Two is enough for me. I read that bitch three.
yeah.
Three.
It seems like McKay's giving us a little mini arc with this. I guess he's gonna maybe split it between this and whatever the Avengers are gonna have going with Doom. But I said it on the timeline, like if you're not gonna give the next Black Panther run to Eaton, which I don't know what their plans are as far as a creative team. If you're not gonna give it to her, yo, McKay is your guy. I know he's got that would be what it like 3 big marquee books that he'd be on, so maybe he would have to drop something, but that might be asking a little bit much to do at a high level. But he's just another one that I'll add to the pile of saying, hey, guys, we don't always have to match demographics up perfectly as to who's going to write a
Mhm.
story. Like we have seen white guys write great T'Challa stories before.
Yep.
Um, Hickman is the shining example, but then you get Jason Aaron, and sometimes Aaron can be iffy, but his T'Challa was fire, and now
Mhm.
McKay. Like if you're not gonna give it to Eaton, which she is still my
They
first choice,
should. They should.
give it to McKay. Like
Yeah.
he showed you right here. This could be almost like a backdoor pilot. Like you could take this energy and you don't even need T'Challa in Wakanda for his next run.
No.
Do the International Empire of Wakanda again. Like send him back in space and just let him cook.
He's already in space now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could build off of that. What's going on in Avengers 20 and however long this little arc lasts. You could build off of that and launch his next run up beautifully. That's what I would do anyway. There are other people in charge over there who've got their own plans, but for a while now, their plans with the character haven't really worked. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's try something different.
I said this too. Sometimes you just gotta let a character be outside of an ongoing, man. Sometimes you just need that alley oop. Sometimes that character just needs to be put on ice. The put on ice doesn't always mean we don't see this character again.
Mm.
Put them somewhere. Let them interact with the greater universe. Let them interact with a team. And then hopefully, like what we're seeing now, you get an alley oop. This is an alley oop. I don't know if we get this if they were trying to do a whole other Black Panther book. I don't know if we get this. I'm sorry. Because this right here, this is the most well, this is the second time in the last year that I've seen legitimate hype for T'Challa, and it was outside of an ongoing. That's saying
Yeah.
something. That's saying something.